Hi, welcome to the TokenClan Crypto Talk Show. In this talk show, we introduce you to industry experts to talk about cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. In the previous talk show, we have a multi-million portfolio fund managers to talk about Bitcoin. Also, we have Charles Allen, a CEO of BTCS Inc., a public listed company based in the US, to talk about how they are generating an active income from powering proof-of-stake blockchain networks such as Ethereum and Cardano. We also have a call with Alternative Blockchain Group based in Finland, Helsinki, on the subject where we discussed about Bitcoin halving sometime last June. In our weekly TokenClan YouTube videos, we uncover decentralized finance projects where we demonstrate their platform features and highlight and expose to you the current innovation and emerging techs that are happening in the crypto space. TokenClan Talk Show brings you a special guest on each episode like this. With the expertise and experience of our guest speaker, we hope to bring you a new and interesting perspective of cryptocurrencies and the blockchain tech. If you like more crypto content like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, click the notification bell. Also, we are pretty active on Telegram. We post our weekly YouTube videos, and also we post news, events, updates, cryptos, the latest offerings of what decentralized finance project that caught our eye and attention in our Telegram channel. So be sure to subscribe if you are. Hi, I am Warren. If you are first time hearing me, and also to the TokenClan, I am the author of Crypto Assets for Passive Income. I first penned down this book in 2018. We self-published it in mid-2018. And this shipped worldwide. It can also be found on Amazon Kindle. My book has been endorsed by the heavyweights in crypto space like Roger Ver, Bitcoin.com, Richard Olson, the founder of crypto exchanges like.com, and also Omar Chen, ZB Exchange, which is pretty active in the Southeast Asia region. In my book launch event, we also have a few crypto exchanges that join us on that day. These are the crypto exchanges that are pretty active in the Asia region, like the Bbox, ZB.com. We also have KuCoin joining us that day. This book is about how this book documents the exact blueprint of how we use data to accumulate crypto assets in a systematic way. We also turn it into a course. If you are interested, you should check out Udemy and find out this course. We have Chris Tan, CEO of Provident, with us today. Now, before I bring him on air, let me first spend the next few minutes to talk about his background so that you can better understand where he's coming from later as we discuss on the subject of cryptocurrencies. Now, he started Provident in 2001 and has been the acting CEO till today. Here is his team together with him. I must say, in my research, at that time, when he started Provident in 2001, it was pretty disruptive in my opinion. So if we have time, we would love to have him share more why Provident in my opinion is pretty disruptive. He is an established, influential, and reputable person in the space of wealth advisory. Chris has built up the following accolades during his tenure as CEO of Provident. He has almost 20 years of experience in wealth management and financial planning industry. He is often quoted in the Singapore press, like the Straits Times, Business Times, because Singapore is a city-state. So for many who don't know about Singapore well enough, but it is a city-state. So we are pretty small in terms of a country. So many of our newspaper are simply the only one, and by being there is almost like a national TV. He's often quoted in the Singapore press. He's interviewed on Singapore national TV like the Channel News Asia, Channel 5, the English one, and also Singapore being a bilingual country, the mother tongue or the Mandarin. In Mandarin is Channel 8. He's often quoted and interviewed on the subject matter pertaining to personal finance. Also, professionally, Christopher is a certified financial planner and a member of the Financial Planning Association of Singapore. He sat on the management committee of SIAS from 2009 to 2017. SIAS is a Securities Investors Association of Singapore. If I would want to draw an equivalent in the United States, it would be like SIPC, Singapore Investors, Securities Investors Protection of Corporation, yeah, SIPC Protection, yeah, and also he is appointed by the also SIAS, the equivalent in the UK is like FSCS, but it more or less to educate investors on the various different financial assets, so that they are educated and they can make better decisions, and also to mediate on events on financial disputes and sort of. So he is also appointed by Singapore government in 2014 to 2016. So there's a typo here. So he joined the CPF advisory panel in 2014 to 2016. This panel was set up to enhance and improve upon this Central Provident Fund, which is a nationwide savings scheme managed by the Singapore government for social securities, for retirement, for the Singapore citizens in their retirement years. So also, I want to highlight that he went on Money FM, the Singapore's only business personal finance radio station, to talk on the subject of should you invest in cryptocurrencies. I can say that the financial planning industry and wealth advisory is starting to get notice of cryptocurrencies in Singapore. But Chris Tan is one of the first few influential person in my radar that goes on the Singapore mainstream media to openly talks about Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies. As a result, I'm super excited to introduce Chris Tan to you. Hi, Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Warren. Hi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thanks for taking a time out from your busy schedule for this interview. I truly appreciate your time here with us today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hi, Chris. I'm so excited to discuss with you on the subject of cryptocurrency. But before we do, can you tell us more about Provident?
Sure. Maybe let me share a slide which I actually prepared for this show. So allow me to share my slide. So very quickly, Provident, who are we? Well, first of all, we are a trusted advisor to our clients who are mainly the affluent and the high net worth beneficiaries of estate, as well as expatriates. We do serve foreigners who are working in Singapore. Our clients are primarily family stewards whose dominant focus is to take care of their families, and they are very conservative in their personal and professional life. So they are really family people whom their focus is about taking care of the family. And our clients, they prefer to work with a firm that has got deep expertise and is careful and prudent in managing their wealth. And our clients know when they come to us, they need to feel that we are very protective of them and that we value their goal of protecting their families exceptionally well. Well, some of us may know that Provident, 20 years ago, when we first started, we started as a fee-only comprehensive wealth advisory firm. We are the first and probably still the only one that offers comprehensive wealth advice on a 100% fee basis, which means to say that when clients come to us to take advice, they pay us a fee. And as a result of that advice, if there need to be any product transactions, we don't take the commissions at all. Either we use products that has no commissions or we rebate the commissions 100% back to our clients. Now, why do we do that? Because we believe that this is probably the best way, and it's also our way of fulfilling our fiduciary obligations to our clients very seriously. And what that means is it's not just about suitability of advice, it's not just about suitability of products. It is about whether when we prescribe something, it is in the client's best interest. We are licensed by MAS with a capital market services license, which means to say actually we are a licensed fund management company with an exempt status in financial advisory. We have 5 areas of practice: wealth accumulation, preservation, enhancement, protection, and transfer. And as I mentioned, we are 20 years of age. We were established since 2001. And I always say, interestingly, on a very auspicious day, and that is September 11, 2001. I'm not sure whether how many people remember September 11, but that was the day officially we started. I wouldn't mention this. You mentioned about my involvement with CPA advisory panel, of which I'm very honored to be on that panel. But in 2018, we were also very honored to be made mention by the Business Times as a company in the industry that has made a name through ethical practices. And that's actually very important for us because it's not just a recognition of business result, but I think what we treasure most is that the media recognize us as someone that gives advice in an ethical manner. And that to us is even more important than just good business results. So yeah, that's who Provident is. And I'll pass back the time to you, Warren.
Okay. Let me just let me alter the layout for. And I believe that there are a few points that I want to reconfirm as you were discussing your slides earlier. So can I understand what makes Provident different from the other wealth advisory firms in the market?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, Provident, we are probably the sole fee-only comprehensive wealth advisory firm. Most of the firms in Singapore, whether be it the banks, financial advisory firms, insurance company, or any financial institutions in Singapore, they take a commission for the products that they sell. But at Provident, we stay away from commission. Now, it is not that we're not saying that people who take commissions are all dishonest, unscrupulous. No, it's not that. Yeah, we just feel that if we strip away commissions from our advice, our clients will go away feeling very assured that when they take advice from us, they know that it is truly in their best interest. It's got nothing to do with compensation. Yeah, so that's why we remain fee only till today, and that differentiates us from the rest of the people. Another point that I think that differentiates us from the rest of the services provider is that our approach towards advisory is to first help clients make life decisions. What's life decisions? Meaning helping clients to establish and understand their life purpose, their life core values, their life goals before helping them make wealth decisions to support these life decisions. So what that means is that, we want to ensure that clients do not just get a return on investments, they also get a return on life, that they are happier because the monies that they have enable them to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. So I think that approach is quite different from the rest of the players out there in the industry.
And I believe that I have one question is that let's assume that what does wealth advisory firms, what are the scope that wealth advisory firms advise upon? I believe you have touched 5 points. And I believe that there's some kind of idea that a wealth advisory firms is about wealth management.
Yeah, it is a bit.
Wealth, yeah.
That's right. And you're absolutely right, Warren. I mean, it has got to do with wealth management. And as I mentioned in my introduction, yes, if I have to distill it down to 5 areas, then it would be wealth accumulation. And that really applies to people who are maybe younger in their 40s, 30s, trying to accumulate wealth. Wealth preservation, to make sure that there are minimal leakages, usually through tax planning, whether estate tax planning or income tax planning. Wealth enhancement, giving a sum of money to us to enhance their wealth. Wealth protection, that usually has got to do with insurance, as well as wealth transfer. I mean, all of us, if there's one thing that is certain, we all die one day, and we want to make sure that whatever assets that we accumulate, we want to make sure that it goes to the rightful beneficiaries in the best possible way. So that's wealth transfer, and may include legal structures such as setting up a trust, writing a simple will, things like that. But these 5 areas, what we do is that we work with clients to combine them and put in place a comprehensive wealth plan. And after the wealth plan is done, for the work that we do, we support the clients to continue to be able to execute these plans to achieve their purpose, their life goals, with a high degree of certainty. And no matter what happens along the way, and also in a comfortable manner. So that's what really wealth advisory is all about.
Okay. There's also another kind of approach that caught my eye, caught my attention while I was reading up Provident.com. So Provident.com, your website, in the investment management, you talk about evidence-based investment approach. So can you talk more about that? What does it mean? Is my first impression was like, are you talking about the active management to portfolio, or passive, the sort of like the ETF or what? Yeah. So can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, it's a good question. Oftentimes I get people asking me, what do you mean by evidence-based? Right. And as I mentioned that, for us, it is important to be able to make sure that, we give our clients return with a high degree of certainty. And that's because we primarily work with clients who are actually near retirement or they are retired. And as a result of that, the monies that we manage for them, they are serious monies. We cannot afford to lose it. They cannot afford to suffer a huge capital loss. And because of that, whatever instrument that we use, there must be enough empirical evidence to support that the returns they get will be reliable. So we do not make use of investment instruments, and our investment approach as well. We do not believe in trying to outguess the market. We do not believe in trying to guess, well, if a certain geopolitical event happen, if let's say Biden loses the election, last year and a few years ago, what happens if Trump wins the election? What's going to happen to the market? We do not try and guess where the Fed, is trying to adjust the interest rates. We don't do that. We don't try to guess what the earnings of the companies is. So we use instruments that has got strong concrete evidence that will give clients a reliable return. So that's what evidence-based means. And to be able to satisfy our due diligence, this data must also have a long history, and it must also be pervasive, meaning to say it cuts across different markets, not just one market. So that's what evidence-based is all about.
Okay. So I was looking at your timeline. You have gone through that Set 11, I think, dot-com boom, the dot-com bubble.
That's right.
Then there's the financial crisis in 2008. Yeah, and thereafter. So
yeah, it's tough, 2008. But if anything at all, I mean, those of us who have gone through 2008 will know it's tough. But 2008 was really a moment of learning for us. Yeah, it was the year whereby we realized that active management, trying to outguess the market, trying to time the market, it doesn't work. I mean, a lot of managers can say that, we can be nimble, we know exactly when to go in, when to go out. Yes, there are some who may be successful in doing so, but even though they are successful, they may not be consistent. And there's a saying that when the tide comes down, you know exactly who didn't wear swimming costume, right? Yeah, and in 2008, right, it was that year of reckoning, because when the market collapsed, you really realize and find out whom are the managers whom really cannot perform. And actually, most managers they didn't do very well in 2008.
Okay. So one more question before we touch on the topic of cryptocurrencies. Can you tell us more about yourself? How do you rise up the ranks and get yourself to be one of the established and successful entrepreneurs in Singapore?
Yeah, I'm not sure whether I can say I'm established. I'm still trying to be established. But generally speaking, entrepreneurs belongs to camps. On one side, there are entrepreneurs whom what I call value entrepreneurs. They see a problem, they want to solve the problem, and so they start a business to solve it. They never think about getting out of the business. When they first started the business, it's all about, I'm trying to solve this problem. But nowadays, we see a second camp, and that's what I call growth entrepreneurs. And by growth, I mean that a lot of entrepreneurs, they see business as a means of wealth creation. So when they start the business, they already had the intention to sell it, right? So typically you see a lot of tech firms doing that, right? I mean, they grow their business, they may burn cash a lot in the first few years, and then they get a lot of funding from VCs, and then after that, maybe 3-5 years later, they probably value the business and they sell it, and they may still be at a loss, but they will be able to sell for a high price. So I belong to the old school. I belong to the camp whereby I came into business because I saw a problem. So I started in the financial services industry in 1998. I was told that financial planning is going to be a big thing. But back in 98 in Singapore, there wasn't such a thing called financial advisory industry. There wasn't even a Financial Advisors Act. Now, if you want to do financial planning, right, Warren? If you want to give advice,
I didn't
right?
know that the Financial Service Act wasn't around at that time.
No, yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was only up in 2002 October.
Oh, okay.
Right, and back then, if you want to so-called give personal finance advice, you either join the insurance company, you join the banks, or you join, say, a stockbroking firm. So I joined an insurance company. I spent 3 years in an insurance company. I was doing very well financially. Yeah, but I wasn't happy at all because I realized that after 3 years, even though I was doing very well, and back in those days, we called $1 million round table, caught on the table. I was going for a lot of incentive trips, and all that. But I realized that I wasn't really giving financial advice. I was actually just selling a lot of products. The turning point came when I met this very big client of mine. It's a very successful client. Every year he will buy something from me. And in that year, when I went to propose a product to him, he looked at me in the eye and he said this. He said, "Chris," almost in his exact words, he said, "Chris, I like you, right? And every time you come, I'll buy something from you. I will support you, right?" And he said this, "Surely there must come a time whereby I should stop buying insurance." And actually, I was very guilty because I knew that he was right. And actually, that triggered me to sit down and ask myself, is this what I'm going to do for the rest of my life and for the next 10, 20 years? I mean, nothing wrong selling insurance, nothing wrong at all. It's just, it wasn't what I really want to do, what I really wanted to do. I really wanted to give advice. Well, and so I left the insurance company in 2001, set up Provident, and then decided to take away commissions from advice. And yeah, we became the first company in Singapore to be a fee-only wealth advisory firm.
Yeah. Yeah. So until today, yes.
Till today, yes.
And
20 years already.
It's still the only fee-only wealth advisory firm.
Yeah, I'll say it's probably, I have not heard of anybody doing it yet. It's probably the only fee-only comprehensive wealth advisory firm. There are people whom they are investment advisors, they are fee-only. Yeah, but as a comprehensive wealth advisory firm, comprehensive means we do the full works, we do mortgage, we do insurance, we do investments. Yeah, so it's comprehensive. And whenever we touch products, we don't take the commissions. So like, for example, mortgage, right? We refer them out to the mortgage broker. The mortgage broker typically usually will pay a referral fee. We don't take it because it's commission. We just ask the mortgage broker to return it back to the client. We arrange insurance for our clients. We don't take the commissions. We rebate the comp. So in that regard, we are the only one.
Yeah. Okay. Let me zoom in onto the topic of cryptocurrencies, the main subject of this talk. Now, in your talk a few minutes ago, so you talk about your clientele, your demographics of your clientele are like they're going to be retired.
That's right.
And these are serious money. So
that's right.
You wouldn't be playing around with them. And out of all the things you started to talk about cryptocurrency, which is currently one of the most volatile assets right now, and it's not even crypto assets, I would say, but it's not even a financial assets officially yet.
Yes.
How do you see? So I'm so curious. How do you see cryptocurrencies to play a part in your scope of work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting question. And as we were preparing for this talk, Warren, I was telling you that I'm not even sure whether you want me on the program because firstly, I'm not really an expert in crypto, right? We don't really use crypto for our clients. But disclaimer, I do buy crypto. I have got Bitcoin. And together with my son, he buys Ethereum and I buy Bitcoin, and we have a discussion about crypto. So it's a disclaimer. I do buy crypto, but in very small proportion. But as a business for Provident, well, we don't use crypto. And I'll explain why. I mean, you gave the background, the kind of firms are the kind of clients that we serve. And because of the clients that we serve and because it's serious money, when we sort of do due diligence on investment instruments, they must meet 4 factors. We call them the 4 investment pillar. So the first pillar is economic contribution. And what that means is that, it is a pillar that showcase our belief that for an investment to generate long-term returns, it must participate in and contribute to the global economic production. In other words, there's no free lunch. So if you want investment return that is long-term, then that particular investment must contribute to the economic value. Otherwise, we should not expect long-term investment returns. So based on this first pillar, you'll realize that actually cryptocurrency at this moment does not fit the bill, as crypto has no economic contribution. Unlike equities, for example, it is a business. Now, the second pillar is that there must be empirical observation, which is what we talked about earlier on, evidence-based, right? It's about data. So we evaluate and validate an investment idea with real market return data, observe across multiple jurisdictions, multiple economic and market cycles. And we evaluate this empirical return evidence to determine if they are consistent with what we expect from the economic contribution. If the investment that we are doing due diligence on meet both the pillar 1, economic contribution, as well as pillar 2, consideration, okay, then we think that we have confidence to use this asset. Again, based on this consideration, I think there are not enough empirical data and long enough to show that digital assets such as cryptocurrency is able to provide that long-term return. Now, very quickly, the third pillar is implementation. This is a pillar whereby we ask ourselves, can we implement this investment easily and at the lowest cost possible? Because the higher the cost, it is into returns. So again, in this regard, while as a retail investor, it's easy to buy a Bitcoin, it's easy to buy an Ethereum, but as an entity, it's not so easy to buy it for all our 800 clients very quickly and at the lowest possible cost. And last but not least, the final pillar is practical consideration. What do we mean? Now, an investment idea may meet all the 3 pillars, but, well, if our clients do not prefer to have such risky asset, do not need to have such risky asset, cannot sleep well because of this risky asset, there is no point adding to the pillar. So unfortunately, for now, cryptocurrencies, they do not play a part in our clients' portfolio. However, we always tell clients that, well, after you have done all your core portfolios, we know it's boring and you want to have some fun. Like me, I want to have some fun, right? It's fine to buy some crypto. Well, because you really do not know how it will turn out. So put some money into it, because when you have got some money into it, you are a bit more interested to read up and find out more because you have money in it. So that's our view on cryptocurrency.
Oh, okay. Oh, so then, and what are the cryptos okay? Maybe just now you mentioned about Ethereum, about Bitcoin. Is that the major tool that you are looking at that caught your attention?
Yes, I mean, I really don't have time to go and study other Bitcoin. Or rather, other cryptocurrencies. My last research tells me that there are like 7 to 8,000 cryptocurrencies out there, and of course there are the more unknown names, I mean, more recently you have Dogecoins, and all that, right? But together with my son, we went into Bitcoin, Ethereum for simple reasons, because Bitcoin, it's the longest, it's got the longest history, right? And probably for now, the most quote unquote widely accepted, right? So I went into Bitcoin. Ethereum, because we like the idea of Ethereum. Now, you probably know this better than me, but I like the idea of the Ethereum platform because it is a smart contract. And it's actually very interesting to read about what these smart contracts can do, right? So I thought, well, at least there is a use of this particular crypto. It is not just a currency. Actually, it is it's a smart contract. So with that little understanding, we decided to put some money into both of these cryptocurrencies.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I just want to touch upon that. You talk about Ethereum. So basically, in our context of our work, we buy Ethereum because we want to use it, we want to consume it and expand it. But many people around me that are in crypto, they are buying for other reasons.
For trading, that's all, right? I suppose.
This scares me a lot. That's why
yes.
Yeah. But I totally agree with you that Bitcoin is the longest serving, is the mother of all crypto. I watched Money FM, your podcast. You talk in great detail. In fact, you research even to the technical levels. So and yeah, that is extremely good for investors like this to be to invest some and learn about that technology. Maybe I already have your answer, but I still want to ask you. So what is in Bitcoin? You said you own Bitcoin. What is in Bitcoin that fascinates you the most? Now, before I let you talk, I want to say that to many people, even including myself, back in 2016, when I first heard about Bitcoin, it's just something that's not backed by anything. That's the first
right.
impression. So can you share your views on that? And
well, I'm like everyone else. I mean, when I first heard about Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrency, the first thing that hit my mind was that it's a scam. Don't get involved in it, right? And when my son came and asked me, I mean, my son is 23 years old, right? I can't just simply tell him that, hey, look, it's a scam. I mean, these young people, they read about all these things. He's just not going to be satisfied when his old man says it's a scam. So, Warren, what I did was that I actually went to sign up for a 2-month course on cryptocurrency with MIT. They have an online program. And I started to learn more and more about this crypto asset. And it's actually quite interesting. And I begin to realize that cryptocurrency is a currency of exchange. I mean, back in the good old days, where humankind first started, we didn't have money. We don't have like dollar notes and coin. How did people actually trade? They barter, right? If I want 2 chicken from your farm, I may have to bring 2 sacks of rice in exchange. But that is not good, firstly, because it's so troublesome to carry things. Secondly, there is no standard pricing, right? I mean, today it can be 2 packets of rice for 2 chickens. Another day it could be something else. And so people begin to find things whereby they can use as an exchange for goods and services. So people use stones, they use corals, they use beautiful seashells and all sorts of things. Finally, well, we all know at one point, people started using precious metals, gold, silver, copper. You watch the Chinese martial art shows, right? And all that, right? They carry huge chests of golden ingots, right? But that's the problem. The problem with using precious metal is that it's so heavy to carry.
That's weird.
Yeah, right. And then you got to engage Pao Piao, right? Because if you don't engage Pao Piao, right, you carry all these chests, it's so loud, everybody knows that you're carrying like huge chests of gold. You get robbed, right? And then the bank of those days came out with a bright idea, right? The Qianzhuang so-called said, you don't carry around. You just put all these ingots into my Qianzhuang, my bank, right? And in exchange, I give you this yingpiao, right? Which is like check. It's like check. It works like check, right? Bank draft, right? And I will just put down and say that you got this amount of money. And you just have to carry all these yingpiao along, right? This check so-called along, right? That started the first form of paper money. And then subsequently, of course, I don't want to go through the history because it's too long, but well, people started printing money backed by gold. Yeah, but then that was that broke down during the Bretton Woods Agreement. Today, what do we use in exchange for goods and services? We use Sing dollar. We use in Singapore, use Sing dollar. You go to US, you US dollar. We use coins. If you take out that note and look at it and read it, it says that this note is legal tender. There is no gold backing it at all. The only reason why we believe that this $1 100 note is worth something and can be exchanged is because the government backs it, is legal tender. That was the start of what we call fiat currency. So actually the paper money that we carry is only of a certain value because people trust the Singapore government. The minute the Singapore government collapses, that money is worth nothing. It's banana paper, right? Crypto is like this. The developers of crypto, and of course, right at the beginning, Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever he is or whoever they are, he wanted cryptocurrency to be accepted as a means of exchange. And as long as you get the whole world to accept that this is a means of exchange, there is value in that Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is like a store of value, but it will only have value today if the world accepts it. And so that actually fascinates me, right? I mean, it's fascinating. So to me, I don't know whether one day whether it will be accepted. Maybe it would. But well, if I own some, and one day if it gets accepted, then great. But I don't want to own so much such that if one day nobody accepts this, and right now the government is all fighting against all this cryptocurrency, if I lose money, it's so be it. It's fine. It's just a small money, right? So that's my view about crypto and why I find Bitcoin, for that matter, whatever cryptocurrency, to be interesting.
You talk about the store of value. So there are a few school of thoughts about Bitcoin. And so you started buying some Bitcoin. So do you buy it for a store of value or is for mode of payment?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I don't buy it for mode of payment at all. Well, firstly, the amount that I bought is so small. Secondly,
microtransactions. Yeah.
No, but okay, it's still thousands, 10,000s of dollars, but it's still very small as compared to my portfolio. But I'll be honest with you, Warren, the reason why I don't use it to buy stuff, right, is that I have no time to actually go and search for places that accepts it. Right? I was hoping maybe one day I'll buy Tesla, but now Elon Musk doesn't want to accept it anymore. Right? So, but I really bought it. I mean, on a serious note, right? I really bought it as a potential store of value. That one day, if it ever gets accepted, I can come out and say, hey, I got some.
Okay. Yeah, store of value. Again, just something to add that pretty soon your the young people, the gamers and all that would be meddling with cryptos even while they are gaming.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't even know what's the underlying technology, but it's interesting. Things are moving at a very fast pace.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, maybe in future, we talk about gaming. When you win a game, it's no longer paid in fiat currency, right? Everything is transacted in crypto, right? You want to play, you use crypto. You got no Ethereum, too bad. You don't have this token, you can't play, right? So when the day comes, and I think it will be spearheaded by the young people, because the young people are a lot more accepting. The young people are more defiant. They don't like centralized finance. They don't like the fact that the government is controlling the money. They like the fact that, no, I control it. And so maybe the young people will spearhead this, and crypto will take off faster than we expect. I'm very bad at predicting, so I'm not going to try. But well, like I said, I have shared. I hope that day will come. And if it comes, then, well, I have some. But my biggest worry, Warren, since we talk about this, and I wanted to qualify why when I say I hope it will come, is that my concern about crypto also at this moment is that a lot of it has been used to fund illegal activities and terrorism, because it's harder to catch than centralized finance, right? So somebody has ever asked me this question. And that question put across to me was, Chris, so you bought some? I say, yes, I did. But do you really want to participate in the scheme that potentially support illegal activities? Right? And that really set me thinking. Disclaimer, I've not sold my Bitcoin yet. Yeah, but it's a good question that I think we all need to reflect whether we want to be part of this. But well, I mean, this is not the time to talk about it. But I mean, if you want to talk about that, right? Many things you do and you buy also support some form of illegal activities. There's really no control. I mean, some people said that, you know, I support the green movement, right? But well, certain things that you buy, it goes against the green movement, right? You buy an iPad, that's so energy consumes lots of energy, right? Yeah, so I mean, can you really be pure? So it's something that I guess one has to think about, and I'll leave it to each conviction to make that decision.
Oh, okay. Something to add that if you ever get the same question again, is that I think for it to track and accountable for each transactions is pretty transparent in the Bitcoin blockchain network. However, for those illegal activities, I don't think they want to use such a pseudo transparent network like blockchain. Maybe they want to do privacy coins.
Oh, okay.
There's a group like this that is pretty hard to track. But I don't think now with the latest advancement in the traceability of the blockchain ledger, it is very easy to track. So especially with the CBDC, the government, the central bank developed coins, so which a few countries are pushing it, because once you get them into the system, it is 100% traceable.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know. See, I learned something from you, and now I'm more at peace holding Bitcoin, and I should really go and buy your book and read it. I thought it's a very interesting book. I didn't knew that it existed in 2018.
Yeah. So coming to the last few questions, that how you know that so since you own some Bitcoins, you pretty recently we have a dip, we have a correction, and it's pretty deep, pretty serious.
That's right.
We have like a 50% correction from the top high, from the swing high. How do you cope with this kind of market volatility? Does it impact you? You are a person that is in the wife advisory, so can you just share your sentiments with this?
Well, it would have affected me if a large part of my investment is in crypto. I mean, I would say less than maybe 3% of my total investment portfolio is into crypto. So it didn't bother me at all, right? But if today 50% of my money is in crypto, I tell you, I wouldn't be able to sleep, right? Now, for me as a wealth manager, and we are fund managers as well, how do we cope with volatility? So you see, we invest in equities and bonds mainly. So the first thing in coping with volatility is we invest in a portfolio that is made up of a proportion of equities and bonds such that the volatility is one that we can accept. So if I can accept a lot more volatility, I'll just put everything in equity. I won't have any bonds at all. I mean, what for, right? Bonds doesn't give you much return. But I got to know myself, if I cannot take volatility, then I better put in some bonds to cushion that up and down so that the volatility is not that bad. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that for our clients, we invest in diversified portfolios of stocks and bonds globally. In our clients' portfolio, they own like in total maybe about 8,000 over stocks. So that volatility is managed. And we know through history and the stock market, the good thing about the stock market is that it has got 100 years of history, even before 1926, right? The S&P 500 was already present. And based on history, we know that the stock market, yes, it's volatile, it dips, but it always goes back up, and it goes up in the long run. Why? Not magic. It is because if there's one thing that drives stock market return, it is earnings. And what drives earnings? Demand for goods and services drives earning. So if the stock portfolio of 8,000 stock goes up, I'm not going to be too worried about it because I know it will come back up. In fact, last year when the market fell 30%, the S&P 500 in March of 2020, it's like, oh, I've been waiting for today. I've got some spare cash and I went in to buy. And from the dip of 30% March 2020 till today, it has gone up like maybe 90%, right? So how for us, right, when we deal with asset classes that has got long empirical data, the way we deal with volatility is much easier because I know it's going to come back up. I'm just going to buy more. But with crypto, it's a bit hard because if you ask me today, with crypto right now, I think I last checked $37,000 US. If you ask me to buy some more, hoping that you'll go back to its 60 over thousand in its heydays, I will be a bit hesitant because it doesn't have enough history to tell me that will happen. So as the way to handle volatility for assets like this is just put a bit of money, then you can sleep.
Small percentage of
Small
overall
percentage.
portfolio.
That's right.
Is there a fixed figure that is constitute small percentage in your financial planning?
Yeah. Doctrine wise, no, but my own personal opinion is that it should not be more than 5% of your total investable or your total investment portfolio.
Okay. So then under what kind of circumstance would you think Bitcoin can be incorporated into a person's portfolio? So the person must be young. Okay.
That's for sure. Yeah. But for us, it would be difficult. Even today, right, Warren, we don't have currency in our portfolio, right? So we don't have, say, 10% allocation to US dollars. We use currency as what we call an overlay. Meaning to say, we use currency as a way to be exposed to that market. So if you want to be exposed to the US market, you have no choice but to operate in US dollar. I mean, you want to hedge back to Sing dollar, you got to pay hedging costs. So I don't think for us, there will be a day whereby crypto will be part of the portfolio. It will be difficult, but there might be a day if crypto is accepted whereby we use crypto as an overlay. That means to say that we're going to accept crypto to invest in portfolios, right? We use crypto to buy equities, for example. There might be a day if crypto has got global and wide acceptance. Nowhere, I don't think it's going to be anytime in the next few years. A currency that fluctuates 50% within a few months, it's not a good currency.
Okay, so I think we have come to the end of this talk show. So for more information on Christopher Tan and Provident, you should check out his LinkedIn profile. And he also have a Provident YouTube channel, which I find that he posts regularly. He has content relating to his personal finance and wealth advisory field. So be sure to check out and follow him and find out more about what his company is doing. I can say that what they have done in the financial planning space is pretty amazing to me. Yeah, so I have also checked out Money Out too. The DIY kind of things that I checked out that interest me also. So I thank Chris Tan for joining us today.
Thanks
you very
for
your
much.
time. Appreciate. So we have reached to the end. We will see you in the next crypto talk show. Yeah, bye.
Bye.